Here we are once again. Cannabis news with Joe Klare, December 27th, 2018. Presented as always by the Marijuana Times. See it there. Get your swag. MakeCannabisGreatAgain.com. MarijuanaTimes.org for the website. A bunch of great articles on there. You click the video tab on there. You will find this show today. Talking about the biggest marijuana stories of 2018. Also, apparently a major battle is to come in New Hampshire when it comes to marijuana legalization. Also, more and more businesses in California are testing, are meeting standards for testing when it comes to their products in that state. All of that is coming up. First, of course, cannabis news. As always, brought to you by NatureSide, nature-side.com, and their organic, all-natural pesticides. Side is spelled C-I-D-E. Of course, if you are a cannabis grower, no matter what you are growing, wherever you're growing it, grow safe and poison-free. Be regulatory compliant if you're growing cannabis in a state where it's legal. Of course, don't use harmful chemicals. Don't use banned pesticides. Do all of these things just by going to NatureSide, nature-side.com, proud sponsor of Cannabis News. They're awesome. Go check them out. Especially if you grow stuff, you want to get rid of pests in a natural, organic way. Check out NatureSide. This first story, MarijuanaTimes.org, by yours truly. It's a little recap of 2018, the biggest marijuana stories of 2018. Now, obviously, this list is not really in any order from highest to less important. And also, it all depends on your perspective. It depends a lot on where you live. For instance, Canada's legalization is more important to people in Canada than it is to people in Michigan. But Michigan's legalization is more important to people in Michigan than it is to people in Canada, etc., so on and so on. You get the point. But some of the biggest stories, at least I feel are some of the biggest stories. Obviously, there was tons of them. I covered them in this article, like adult use legalization in Canada. Of course, that was huge. Adult use retail sales began in California. The dual sessions departure, excuse me. When it comes to federal marijuana law reform, nothing was more important than the departure of the Sessionses, especially Pete Sessions, the House Rules Committee chairman, who blocked every bill that had anything to do with marijuana at all. Anytime it came to him, he said no. At least now, a lot of those bills will get votes on the floor of the House next year. So that'd be an interesting thing to look forward to. Also, as I mentioned, adult use legalization in Michigan and federal hemp legalization. You can read all of what I had to say about those by clicking the link in the description of this video or going to MarijuanaTimes.org and checking it out. This next story, I guess I really wasn't aware. I mean, I was aware that there was things going on in New Hampshire, but I wasn't aware that it was such a big deal. The next major battle, Sununu charges against marijuana legalization. I don't know what that means. It's like, is this charge like a rhino or an elephant? It doesn't seem right. It seems heavy-handed as far as the description goes. But it's up to Ethan DeWitt. He's who wrote this story. Governor Chris Sununu came out swinging against the effort to legalize marijuana, calling it one of the biggest policy fights for his administration next year, and urging members of a prominent state drug and alcohol commission to rally against its passage. In an impromptu set of remarks at a monthly meeting of the Governor's Commission on Alcohol and Drug Abuse Prevention, Treatment, and Recovery. Man, that's a long title for a commission. Even as far as commission titles go, that's long. Sununu reiterated his opposition to the idea and said he would absolutely veto legislation regardless of what the language looks like. And he made clear the office would take a forceful approach in defeating the bill, including by coordinating with a national lobbyist to kick off a statewide campaign. That national lobbyist is, of course, Sam, Smart Approach to Marijuana, and Kevin Sabet. Apparently Sabet and Sununu have been talking a lot about coordinating and setting up opposition to marijuana legalization, which have to go through the New Hampshire legislature, which is Democrat-dominated apparently now, so it's going to be harder for Sununu to stop it. And he says later in the article, one of the quotes is basically he feels that if they sit back and wait, it's going to pass and it's going to come to his desk, so he's got to do something preemptively to try to stop marijuana legalization because it's such a dangerous thing that's coming. This is the next major hurdle, the governor added. This is the next major battle, if you will, aside from funding and things like that. As I say, I was talking a lot with Kevin Sabet, He said Kevin Sabetta is engaging with us very aggressively. He's very excited. He's raised a lot of money nationally. He's ready to make a strong stand here in New Hampshire. I think that could be a great use to us. So apparently it's going down. Apparently it's on like Donkey Kong in New Hampshire. Let's do this. Come on. I'm pumped. I don't live in New Hampshire, but I'll do what I can with what I have. Maybe it's little. That's what I can offer. It's good as it gets. This next story, an AP story from APnews.com. Higher percentage of California pot passing safety tests. Higher percentage of California marijuana products are passing strict safety tests, but the sudden closing of a lab that state authorities found wasn't correctly checking for pesticides has raised new questions about the system intended to protect the purity and potency of legal cannabis. California broadly legalized marijuana at the start of the year, and mandatory testing began on July 1st. During the first 2 months, the failure rate was about 20%, but state data collected through November showed improvement. About 14% of nearly 24,000 products were blocked from store shelves by tests. Cannabis-infused cookies, candies, and tinctures continued having the most trouble in the test labs. About 26% were rejected, though that was also an improved rate compared to the July-August period when 1/3 failed. So, obviously, new industry, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things get up and running. New regulations, as they mentioned, came into effect July 1st. There was a lot of turnover from that. A lot of marijuana got destroyed. We talked about that here on the show. And, things are improving, and that's all you can ask. So, there you go. That's all you can ask of us. I continue to improve here on Cannabis News. At least I hope I do. Tomorrow, will be the last, it won't be the last show of the year, but one of the last shows of the year. But it will also be episode 300. Thinking about doing a little recap of the year. Maybe looking back at things more, extended than what I did in that article. We'll see. I haven't decided yet, but whatever it is, I'm sure that it'll be great. I don't know. Did I sound confident when I said that? I'm sure it'll be great. Thank you all for watching, listening, and commenting. Find us on Apple Podcasts for the audio version of the show. Search Marijuana Times on there. Of course, you can find the videos by clicking the video tab at marijuanatimes.org. Thank you all for liking and commenting on all of those things and spreading the truth about cannabis with this show. Thank you for watching and listening today, and we'll see you next time right here on Cannabis News.